f5 and c5 pawn breaks, effective in the king's Indian defense. Imagine you're playing a game of chess and both players are jockeying for control of the board. One of black's main plans in the king's Indian defense is to strike at white's position with pawn breaks. Now, you might wonder if pushing the pawns to f5 and c5 really make a difference. Let's break down how these moves work and when they can turn the tide of the game. In the king's Indian defense, black usually allows white to take space in the center with pawns on d4 and c4. Black then plans to challenge this setup with dynamic pawn pushes. The move c5 is a key pawn break on the queen side. It aims to challenge white's d4 pawn and open lines on the c-file. When black plays c5 at the right moment, it can help activate the queenside pieces, especially the rooks and bishops. This move is often prepared after black develops the knight to c6 and plays a6 to support the pawn push. If timed well, c5 can create open lines and make white's position more difficult to defend. On the other hand, the f5 pawn break is a popular way for black to attack on the king side. It supports pieces like the knight on f6 and can be followed by moves like g5 or g4 to push white back. Playing f5 can threaten white's pawn structure, especially if white has castled on the king side. It also opens lines toward white's king, which can lead to attacking chances. But f5 needs to be played carefully. If black pushes f5 too early or without proper support, it can weaken the king's safety or give white chances to counterattack. Both pawn breaks are effective but depend heavily on the position. If black has completed development and secured the king, c5 and f5 can be powerful tools. They allow black to challenge white's control of the center and flanks, creating counterplay opportunities. Timing is everything. Playing these breaks too soon can backfire, but executing them at the right moment can turn the game in black's favor. In many variations of the king's Indian defense, especially the Mar del Plata variation, f5 is a thematic move supporting a kingside offensive. Meanwhile, c5 is a standard counter to white's queenside expansion, often prepared with moves like knight to c6 and a6. Successful use of these pawn breaks requires good coordination of pieces and a clear plan. So, to answer the question directly, yes, f5 and c5 pawn breaks are effective tools in the king's Indian defense. When timed correctly, they challenge white's position on both flanks and open lines for black's pieces. They are essential parts of black's strategic arsenal, helping to create dynamic and balanced play across the board.